Why has a primary race in one of the country's safest congressional districts garnered national attention all of a sudden? For decades, Oregon's 3rd district, which includes much of Portland, has been represented by this man, Democratic Congressman Earl Blumenauer. Last year, Blumenauer announced his plans to retire, setting up a race for his replacement. And Oregon's 3rd district is in solid Democratic territory, meaning whoever wins next week's primary will certainly likely cruise to victory in November. And for much of the race, Sushila Jayapal, the former Multnomah County commissioner and sister of Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, has been the clear frontrunner. However, over the last few weeks, things have actually shifted, with millions of dollars, certainly of dark money dollars, pouring into this race in support of Jayapal's opponent, Maxine Dexter, a state representative and a local doctor. Much of that money came from 314 Action Fund, a group that says it is on a mission to elect more scientists into office. So far, 314 Action has spent almost $2 million in support of Dexter, equal to what the PAC spent on candidates during the entire 2022 election cycle. And since 314 Action waited until April for this last-minute spending blitz, they've actually been able to delay disclosing the group's donors until May 20th, just one day before the election. And it's important to keep in mind that in Oregon, since Oregonians vote by mail, many of the votes will actually be cast ahead of that deadline. However, thanks to new reporting from The Intercept, we now know exactly who is behind this effort. According to two sources familiar with the arrangement, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, also known as AIPAC, has been secretly funneling money into the race through 314 Action. It is a move intended to directly target Jayapal, who has called for a ceasefire in Israel's war on Gaza, and it's part of a much larger effort from the pro-Israel lobby. 2024 alone, AIPAC is threatening to spend $100 million against congressional candidates, primarily Democrats, that they deem as insufficiently supportive of Israel. And this week, the group secured its first major victory of the election season after State Senator Sarah Alfreth won the crowded Democratic primary for Maryland's 3rd congressional district. Alfreth benefited from more than $4 million in spending from another super PAC funded by AIPAC, giving her a last-minute leg up over her closest opponent, somebody that many people in this country know, former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn. Dunn had a far higher name ID and even secured an endorsement from former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. But that was no match for AIPAC and its pack of Republican billionaire backers. Alfreth's win shows the sheer power of the group's influence and its growing kingmaker status, if you will, among Democratic politics. And fresh off of that victory, AIPAC has already set sights on its next target, New York Democratic Congressman Jamal Bowman. On Thursday, the group dropped nearly $2 million on attack ads against Bowman. With that influx of funds and a challenger handpicked by AIPAC, it is no surprise that New York Magazine has dubbed Bowman, quote, the most endangered Democrat in America. Congressman Jamal Bowman joins me now. Congressman, it's great to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for making it here. So let me just get your reaction. I want to kind of mention a little bit of this ad. And there's an interesting dynamic that is playing here because AIPAC obviously wants to strengthen the American-Israel relationship. They want politicians who believe in that relationship. And notably, the ads that they are running against you and others make no mention of Israel. In fact, in this Politico article, a spokesperson for the PAC told Politico, we run ads on the issues voters are most focused on. And yet, if this issue is not the issue that voters are focused on, that they're not even mentioning Israel, why are they going after you by primarying you and others who are apparently more pro-Israel, not even talking about it?
Yeah, because they don't want Israel to be criticized. They don't want Israel to be held accountable. They don't want anyone to mention Palestine or speak up for Palestinian rights and lives. We fight for the lives of all people, Israeli and Palestinians, Jewish, Christian, Muslim. That's what we do. But the people in the district, you know, we decide as the people who's going to govern this district and what issues matter most to us. And, you know, because they cannot, and AIPAC doesn't know the district, right? So they're literally trying to work with, they're funded by Republican, right-wing, racist billionaires, the same people who fund Donald Trump, the same people who are going after our voting rights, our reproductive rights. Those are the people who fund AIPAC. So they're literally coming in to black and brown communities, black and brown districts, trying to buy races from the people who live there. And it's not going to work. They don't know Co-op City. They don't know the Bronx. They don't know Mount Vernon. They don't know Yonkers, New Rochelle, Port Chester, White Plains, Greenburgh, the river towns. They don't know these areas. They try to bully their way into elections. We beat their guy, Elliot Engel, in 2020. We're going to beat their guy in this race as well.
They're also backing people who are election deniers in other districts. I mean, the consistency that they have is that for them, it is about Israel. It is not about reproductive rights. It's not about resources into these communities. It's not about the integrity of American elections or the security of our elections, because they're all over the place. They focus on this singular issue. How you say that is not an issue that people in your district care about, or something that's going to work with the people in your district, this kind of like voting manipulation. But what do the people of your district care about? And certainly, what do they care about when it comes to the issue of Israel and Gaza?
Correct. So with regard to this issue, 69% of my district supports a permanent ceasefire. 69%. The majority of the district, they don't want our taxpayer dollars and weapons and billions of dollars to go to Israel to bomb children and women and babies. They want that money to come to their district so they could build affordable housing, have access to universal childcare, universal pre-K, programs for kids, mental health supports, reducing gun violence, fighting climate change, fully funding our public schools. That's what the people in the district want. And AIPAC, to your point, their number one issue is Israel, but they pay to run ads on other issues because they're an organization that lies to the American people. And the people in my district, the ads just started running this week. I was outside all day today. They're frustrated by the ads. They're pissed by the ads because they know I've done 10 years of deep work in the district as a middle school principal. The people know my record, and they know my record from when I first got to Congress and brought in over $1 billion to support the issues they care about. So they're upset that this group and my opponent are trying to besmirch my name and take down my reputation. So their ads are not going to work.
Do you get the support that you need from the Democratic Party as a whole? Because you think, at least for those of us on the outside, that somebody who is an incumbent like you, somebody with a track record, should have at least some party, institutional party support, and not allow you to get attacked by an outside lobbying group like AIPAC.
So we're endorsed by Hakeem Jeffries, Leader Jeffries. We're endorsed by Catherine Clark. We're endorsed by Pete Aguilar, which is great. All three are very well regarded in the district, particularly Leader Jeffries. And we continue to remind voters that Leader Jeffries has endorsed us. We're also endorsed by Planned Parenthood. We're endorsed by all of labor, DC 37, 1199, the nurses. So we have a diverse, multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-background coalition supporting our campaign. We have people. They have money. And unfortunately, when you have money, you can lie, cheat, steal, bully your way to power, which is what they've done for the last 60 years. But the people ain't having it anymore.
Let me ask you about this report from the Washington Post, speaking of billionaires and their influence. The Washington Post reported that there was a WhatsApp chat group started by wealthy Americans in the wake of the October 7th attack. According to that reporting last month, several of those billionaires pressed New York City Mayor Eric Adams to send police to disperse pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia universities. Are these outsiders working to influence campus protests that Mayor Adams warned us about? I mean, on one hand, this is a dangerous situation if you're thinking of the mayor being influenced politically or in any way to carry out this decision. He's obviously saying that he was invited by Columbia University's president, but you wonder about what is taking place behind the scenes.
This is fascism. This is big money in politics. This is oligarchy. This is exactly what we're trying to end in Congress and in the entire political arena. This is my opponent taking more money from AIPAC than anyone else in the country. This is big money in politics. And big money is trying to withhold and maintain power because the people are resisting that power and pushing back against that power. Dr. King told us, fight back against capitalism, militarism, and racism. That's exactly what's happening now in Gaza, at the border, as we try to deport Latino migrants with mass incarceration. That's continuing with police brutality without any accountability. The three things Dr. King told us to fight against, we are not doing it. We're not doing our job as elected officials if we're listening to what the corporate elite and the oligarchy and special interests are trying to control in our elections. We don't govern for them. We govern for the people. And with regard to Colombia, we govern for our children, our young people, the most precious resource in our country, reminding us of what happened during the civil rights movement that got us civil rights and voting rights. It was protests, reminding us what happened during that time, what got us out of the Vietnam War. They're trying to fight for peace, and we should be supporting them.
All right, Congressman Jamal Bowman, always a pleasure to see you. Great to have you on the show as always. Thank you so much.